Namaskar. Apologies for the slight delay. I was trying to set up some things and the data was still coming in. But here we are starting. Why isn't Kejriwal back in jail? I thought that the day after the election results were announced that Kejriwal would be put back in jail. So we went and did a little bit of research, and I'm going to present all the links after this show is over. I was trying to put it in before going live, but then I realized that I was running late. So let me first give the show and then add the reference links later, because there is much to ponder here, much to ponder. That's why I wanted to do this thing right away. Please like this video, and if you've not already subscribed to our channel, kindly do so. So there is a small slide deck now that I'm going to present, and I'm also going to add a few other things by way of what other things may have been happening in the back burner. Now, with USAID having a 90-day pause, this is going to mean a huge setback for the India Alliance partners, particularly some who are shadow receiving money. I don't want to go into the names. You all know who I'm talking about. There are only some favorites that I have, and all that stuff is going to come to a stop. What does that mean? Will Modi be able to convince Trump that no more US aid funding to anybody in India? And in exchange, what will he have to give? These are all things. I hope that Modi does some hard bargaining, and I hope Trump does hard bargaining too, because the people of America and India will benefit if good, frank exchange of views is done, and everybody benefits from that. It will be a fool's paradise to think that US is doing well today. It's just completely Maya that is happening, mirage. And you are seeing now, today, Meta, I think Monday morning, I think they fired a bunch of people today. Meta is one of the successful companies called Magnificent 7, Max 7, and they have fired. So things are not very good. So a lot of things churn happening in America also. Now let's get back to what is happening with Arvind Kejriwal. Was all this drama of putting him behind jail, Manish Sisodia, many of the members of his cabinet, Delhi excise liquor policy, all these things, was it pressure tactic, or does the ED or the CBI have a solid case against Kejriwal and some of his minions? That's what we are going to take a look at. It's a critical look. Like I said, please like this video, and I'm going to start this slide deck right now. Here we go. Why isn't Kejriwal back in jail? Many of you must be wondering this, because yeah, you can bask in the light of the victory, but this should have happened immediately, don't you think? Well, Arvind Kejriwal has faced legal challenges from both ED, Enforcement Directorate, as well as the CBI for the Delhi excise policy he put together in 2021 and 2022. Before we go in a little bit deeper, let's take a look at both these allegations. What does the CBI's case suggest? What does the Enforcement Directorate case suggest? The CBI alleges that Kejriwal was involved in a criminal conspiracy related to the formulation and implementation of Delhi excise policy. This criminal conspiracy could lead to a criminal case. The ramifications of a criminal case are far more than the ramifications of a civil case. So please understand that. The CBI, if they can basically make a strong case, this is actually party over for Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia and the whole bandicoots. Only Atishi Marlena will be left standing, and Gopal Rai, maybe a few others are still there. But that would be, do you think that the people of India would vote for this ragtag outfit remaining after that? I doubt it. So this is the CBI case. As far as the Enforcement Directorate case is concerned, it is much more of a money laundering angle. Now, this is something that I'm also curious, because there were stories coming out that Arvind Kejriwal has a lot of money by way of bitcoins, and that he was refusing to share access to his iPhone, and the reason being thought of was that his bitcoins were also in that. There's a wallet inside that, and that wallet, and he was trying to deny Enforcement Directorate access to the wallet, the Bitcoin wallet, blah blah blah. We know that Bitcoin is now sailing at a very high number, 100,000 plus per Bitcoin, and the India angle is that there has been a lot of money laundering. Money laundering happened AAP leaders got kickbacks from many of these retail vendors who got this bonanza. All that stuff is known. But where did the money go? Well, one thing is that the money was used in Goa elections, and the other allegation that Pannu had laid at the doorstep of AAP was that the first round of funds that they had given, collected in US and Canada and UK and given to AAP, that got spent by the AAP for Gujarat elections. You see how this thing goes around and round and round and around. It's one thing after the other. Everybody is unhappy with the Aam Aadmi Party, and particularly Kejriwal. I told you this before. I remember one time Kumar Vishwas came after the elections in Punjab, where Aam Aadmi Party lost and Congress won, and they were going to manhandle that fellow. Police had to be called in. This is a Khalistani guys, and this happened very close to where I live, so I know what happened. Be that as it may, let's take a look at the timeline of Kejriwal's arrest. November 2nd, 2023, he ignores the first summons from the ED and attends a political rally in Singrauli, Madhya Pradesh. In December 2023, Kejriwal skips the second ED summons, labeling it illegal and politically driven. In January 2024, Kejriwal misses the third ED summons, claiming it is part of a conspiracy by the center. Fourth one, Jan 18, 2024. February 2024, fails to attend both 5th and 6th summons from the ED. This is just the ED. Then in March 2024, a session court grants Kejriwal bail for following 2 complaints by the ED for non-compliance with the summons. So ED moves the court and Sessions Court grants Kejriwal bail. Now, after that, Kejriwal contests the ED summonses in the Delhi High Court, which denies him relief from coercive measures. In March 2024, the Kejriwal doesn't give up there. He goes to the Supreme Court for protection against coercive action. Somewhere along this line, you saw that Swati Maliwal thing also play out. Finally, on March 21st, 2024, after skipping 9 ED summonses, Kejriwal is arrested by the Enforcement Directorate. And on 10th May, that is about 2 months later, Supreme Court grants Kejriwal interim bail until June 1st, allowing him to participate in Lok Sabha poll campaigning. On June 1st, 2024, Kejriwal submits an application for an interim bail in a Delhi court. On June 2nd, he surrenders at Tihar jail as mandated by the Supreme Court, because by that time, the electioneering was all done. It was 4th June that the results came out. On 5th June 2024, a Delhi court rejects Kejriwal's request for interim bail on medical grounds. Remember, he stopped eating, he started eating mangoes and sweets like crazy. This guy is a diabetic, and whatever. You understand that drama he played out. So on June 20th, 2024, a Delhi court grants Kejriwal regular bail in the money laundering case. June 21st, ED challenges Kejriwal's release in the Delhi High Court, which stays the release order. The piece is back in jail. Then, on 26th June, CBI arrests Arvind Kejriwal, and on 5th September, Supreme Court reserves its decision on Kejriwal's bail pleas. And on 21st September 2024, Supreme Court announces its verdict granting bail to Arvind Kejriwal. So right now, Supreme Court has given him bail, but the ED or the CBI, they could move the Supreme Court and have the bail vacated. That would be the logical course of action. But is it happening? Well, let's first find out what are the bail conditions. Release is subject to a bail bond of rupees 10 lakhs. Kejriwal cannot make comments about the Delhi excise policy case. If I was in the ED or CBI, I would have recorded every Kejriwal speech during this electioneering and found out if he by even accident mentioned anything about the Delhi excise policy case. You can use that to revoke bail. I'm not a lawyer, okay? Kejriwal will have to, you have to have extra sharp intelligence to go after this rascal. I'm telling you. Kejriwal will have to be present for trial unless exempted by courts. Kejriwal can't enter the Chief Minister's office or the Delhi Secretariat while out on bail. I don't know if he complied with this fully. Again, that's something that CCTVs can pick up. Kejriwal as a CM cannot sign official files unless absolutely necessary to obtain Lieutenant Governor's sanction. Now, we know that the Delhi Secretariat has been sealed. We also know that there are 14 CAG reports pending to be presented in Delhi Assembly whenever the session starts, and all of these are against Aam Aadmi Party. Is the Bhajpa government in center waiting for that to be done? Or is there anything that they can do in the interim to have Supreme Court reject the bail, vacate the stay, and allow the law to take over? But there's always a but. There's always a but. CBI and ED have not presented substantial evidence linking Kejriwal to the alleged crimes, leading to questions about the basis for his continued detention. So how did CBI and ED make arrests without having sufficient grounds? This is the question that, see, it's possible. They may have the data, but they may have not presented in front of the court. That's definitely a possibility. I'm not ruling out any of these things, okay? The Delhi court noted that ED failed to provide direct evidence connecting Kejriwal to the proceeds of crime in the money laundering case. So what does that mean? That means that they have not been able to prove that a certain account that bears the name of Kejriwal, his family, or anybody has been in receipt of the funds. I'm sure it exists. It is just that this guy is an IITian. He's also got IRS, so he probably went through the. He went through the UPSC exam also. He's a very clever fellow. So he has done something. You just have to find out. Do we know how many girlfriends he has? I'm just asking you a rhetorical question. Have you looked under everyone's accounts? Sorry, it gets a little crass if you ask these questions, but the truth is that this is what I'm saying has a lot of substance. You just have to go back and look at the Thiruvananthapuram guest house story that came in PGurus that had like, I think, 1 million views. 1 million views. Thiruvananthapuram guest house. Arvind Kejriwal, the story was written by his then good friend Kapil Bajaj. Anyway, the Supreme Court observed that the CBI's arrest of Kejriwal appears to be an attempt to counteract his bail in the ED case, suggesting a lack of concrete evidence to justify his prolonged incarceration. Incarceration is staying in jail. They have some work. ED and CBI have some work to do, because while both have named Kejriwal as the kingpin and the mastermind behind the liquor scam, neither has presented substantial evidence directly linking him to the alleged crimes. See, they wanted access to his phone a long time ago, and he denied it. Could they have forced that matter by going to the court and getting permission? Or ED itself has a lot more powers now. They could have approached Apple and said that, look, this guy is under this and we want this information because we suspect him of having his money bank account details here. You could have asked for a break of the access to his iPhone. I don't know if that was done or not. So right now, if you look at the judiciary is divided on whether the arrest was legally sound or politically motivated. Now, why this becomes a problem is it remains one of the most significant political legal battles in India's recent history. If they can't put him away, then that means that he can start playing the victim card very successfully. The longer you wait, the longer he is going to become stronger. This is not your ordinary politician. He's a clever thief. And like I said, yeah, I wrote the book, The Rise and Fall of AAP. Many of you read it. And then many of you went still and probably even voted for him. I don't blame you for it. If there are a bunch of rascals and scoundrels, who do you choose, right? And I blame the BJP also. They were not exactly clean when they were running the municipalities of Delhi. I don't know how the government was when last time BJP had come to power in Delhi. And Corruption is a problem. In a country like India, where that itself becomes another tax on you, corruption is a huge problem. I mean, I'm facing it day in and day out. When I go to Tamil Nadu to get anything done, completely institutionalized. Corruption is completely institutionalized, even when you have pakka paperwork. You have all the paperwork you need. You have everything done, and still you don't get the approval. Why? The greaser is not there. Nobody is able to stop it. Let Annamalai go and buy a new property. He will know what is happening. Maybe they'll make an exception in his case because they don't want to get caught. But then everybody cannot be Annamalais in the state. There are 8 crore Tamilians who are suffering now. It's just an example. I'm sure the same thing is happening in many other states also. We all have this problem. So some things that have digitized the way India conducts itself, runs its government, has cracked down on many of these things. Let's hope that this arrest of Arvind Kejriwal and Sisodiya and all the other guys in the Delhi liquor policy, this happens soon. You cannot delay, I'm telling you. Till now, you could have said, oh, there are elections, we wanted to guard against the sympathy factor. All that is done and dusted. Now is the time to act. I have never emphasized it like in a timely manner like I'm doing it today. That's why I came out and did it right away, that he needs to go back to jail unless you don't have a case. Either way, the ball is in Modi government's court. Let's wait and see how that plays out. Now I'll have a few questions of yours. Let's see. I'm just going to go through the questions. I need to do it myself. My editor is not available today. Quite a few questions from you guys, so I'm just lining them up. Give me a second while you read that. So some of you may not be happy with what I'm saying here, but I will give you the links to statements where the Supreme Court or the High Courts have made observations in the reasons why they gave bail to Arvind Kejriwal. Okay, so here are the questions now. Nandkumar, thank you for becoming a member, YouTube member for PGurus. Apolitically Center 69. Why government is not probing Pannu's claim of bribing Kejriwal for Khalistan cause? I agree. There are lots of things. I think they know what it is. See, sometimes what happens is you don't want to show all your cards in one case. Maybe it's being done for some other case, and I don't know which that other case is. Magnet Ranga is saying that there is a report that lots of docks has been burnt in Delhi. This is notwithstanding LG notice that prevents files leaving Secretariat. Hope this will not derail investigations. I hope not too. Sanjaya PR wants to know, Sree Iyer ji, the charade has become a joke. Everyone accused is getting bails on their... Yes, this is the modus operandi that ED and CBI had embarked on. Somewhere I think the functioning has gone awry. Either the departments themselves are corrupt, so therefore the people who are working on these cases, they are being bought off, or it is being done deliberately just to apply pressure at a political level but not to really send them to jail. I don't know. And these two are very tight-lipped about these things, Modi and Amit Shah. They don't say anything. And transparency is needed. The 10 years gone and they have not really said why they have not sent Rahul Gandhi to jail for the multiple citizenship issue. Right now the Congress is down. Why don't you finish it off? Administer the coup de grace. Magnet Ranga wants to know, Namaskaram. They'll say, oh, we have to wait for Modi ji to come back from the trip to Europe and US. Come on, bullshit, guys. You can't wait, the country can't wait for one individual to go travel and come back. This is bullshit. This cannot be accepted as a reason. Don't accept these things. Then why are there council of ministers? Why is there a cabinet? What kind of decisions are they're going to be taking? Everything you have to leave it for people to do it on their own. Everything should not be decided by one individual. That's wrong governance. Anyway, this is just my 2 cents. Mangatanga says, without payments from government of Delhi now, can Kejriwal afford services of people like Singhvi? That's a good question. I don't know. We don't see, these people are all very devious. They will say some backroom deal. They'll say Singhvi will get his money in his tax haven. We don't know what the other things are. Who are the silent backers of Arvind Kejriwal? We don't know. Because remember, he also has some influence in Punjab. And he might be first desperately trying to save that government to make sure that AAP as a political party has at least one state where they can say they are in power. We'll see. Krishnamurti Hunagon says, Kejriwal is a dead horse politically. I don't think so, Krishnamurti ji. He's a very smart guy. Sonia and gang are far more dangerous for India's unity. Government must go after them and put them behind the bars. Join the crowd. Krishnamurti ji, I've been asking this. I've written books. What more do you want? I don't know. I think I have done everything I can do as an individual. Venkatraman says, I guess BJP wants to table all the CAG reports and then round him up. That is the wrong way to do it. That is the wrong way to do it. Manoj Soma says, sir, free Hindu temples and abolish income tax is getting away in 2029 to take on BJP. This is a huge thing for opposition, but they don't. Why, sir? Well, there is something like lack of funds also, Manojji. The biggest money coming into the tax exchequer today is personal income tax, in my opinion. They are not going to let go of that so easily. What you got as 12 lakhs exemption is a huge bonanza. Enjoy it. That is 1 lakh a month salary, taxable income, that is. I think you should enjoy it. For some time, let them get some breather. Because once some of these big bang projects come to India, then the money will start spreading across the economy and enrich everybody. You have to be a little bit patient about that. Jack Sparrow, thank you so much. Will you talk about VP normalizing Indian hate? VP. Oh, this is JD Vance. Jack, I have to look at that case. Was it said in the heat of the moment, or is there something beyond that? I've made it my to-do list items to do a clinical analysis of what the original Doji employee said, then what did JD Vance say, and then Vivek also weighed in on that one. So 3 or 4 people who are what I would call as thinkers, or people that are at least using their brains a little bit, have said. So before I jump in with an observation, I want to just take a look at it. I'll come up with a monologue on that. Just stay with me for a few days. I will do that. Unfortunate if what VP said, he meant what he said, or if it was something that was said in the heat of the moment and that could have also been misconstrued. I don't know. So just give me some days. I'll figure that out. So that's all I have. Thank you so much, viewers. This was a very short notice video I put out. I felt that some things have to be done when loha is still garam, when the iron is still hot. Strike while the iron is hot. Today is the best time to do it. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.